everyone, welcome to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and today I have a special guest with us. She is a horror model, scare actress. She does a little bit of everything. And she's a huge horror fan. I have with us Reverie, Addams. Reverie, welcome to the Horror Room. It's a pleasure to have you on. Now, Reverie, you're a huge horror fan.
Yes.
And you and your boyfriend are big cosplayers. I mean, I saw a picture where you guys were doing like a reverse gender.
Yeah.
Chucky and Tiffany.
Yeah, it's funny also because my actual name is Tiffany, and so we swapped it. So he put the Tiff over the heart, and yeah, we do a lot of gender swapping, or we'll just both be girly, and it's fun.
Now, I'm a huge horror. I'm a horror convention fan myself. I don't do that much cosplay at horror conventions. I do them at Comic Cons more so than horror conventions. And I'm pretty sure you've seen some of my videos, my walkthrough of those horror conventions. How did you become a horror fan? And tell us about some of the things that you enjoy when you experience the horror convention.
I was hoping you would ask that. How I got into horror? It was because I got bullied really badly from preschool through the end of middle school, and they told me how ugly I was, and now I like to imagine and I like to write as if they were getting killed off since I'm not actually going to do it, so I turned that energy into art.
Love it. I love it. And when it comes to horror conventions, I mean, I believe you're in the Midwest area. One of the things I'm on the East Coast, but I go to horror conventions. The goal is to go to other horror conventions in this country. Now, tell me a couple. Okay, this is a hard question. Tell me two things that you love about horror conventions, and tell me two things that you absolutely despise about horror conventions.
Well, the number one reason I go is to meet the guests. There are not many opportunities to get to meet actors, especially like bigger ones other than conventions. And everybody always asks me, like, how did you meet them? And I'm like, I went to a convention. Like, you can go too. if you're able at the time, I would recommend it for sure. Another thing that I love, I suppose I'd say the networking. It's cool to not only make friends in the genre, but also potentially get to work on some stuff together like you and I are right now. Two things I despise. Oh, man. There's a lot of walking.
There is. A lot of standing too.
I should just be like carried around. We're gonna work on that. We'll design some kind of like functional but like aesthetic with the cosplay. Like if I'm playing the Exorcist, we'll make a little thing into a bed. Will carry me around in a wagon, and it'll look like I'm flopping around a bed, but I'm just chilling. Another thing I despise. That's such a strong word for a horror convention because there's not that many things to hate. I have mixed feelings on like huge crowds. I'm usually okay, but sometimes. But I can generally overlook it, especially like if the goal is like I'm meeting like one of my dream like fan actors, then yeah, I can kind of like laser vision my way through a crowd and be like, that's what's happening here.
Because so one of my most popular videos I've done on my YouTube channel was, and I got a lot of criticism for it too, is the 5 things I hate about horror conventions. And like the one I'm thinking off the top of my head, like I'm agreeing with you, is the crowds and the lines. It just
lines, yeah.
The lines and the crowds fucking kill me. And like I used to go to horror conventions back in the day where it was an underground thing. Like most people didn't know about a horror convention. They're like, well, when the hell do you meet Kane Hodder at? Like it was such a cult thing that only hardcore horror fans knew about. But now it's become such a mainstream thing, and you got people who are casual horror fans showing up, or not even horror fans at all, and it just gets so overcrowded, and you got kids in the way, babies and strollers and shit.
Like
it's
theme park
like too much.
Yeah.
It's too much. So, I
Okay,
mean,
of
that's
course I'm gonna be impatient to meet someone I've like watched their movie like every week for like 10 years.
you just feel like you're rushed too
Yeah, for
because it's
sure.
such a long
Especially
line.
at photo ops, it's like 1, 2, 3, click. Okay, good. I'm like, I had like a lifetime of stuff worth to tell you, and it breaks my heart. Like sometimes I'll like write it. I maybe just one time to like Evan Peters, I wrote a note and handed it to him. Like, this is everything. I really hope you have time and are willing to read this, but this is what I really would have said if we had time to talk.
So who's the one horror celebrity that you met that you were like starstruck? You were like, oh shit, this I can't believe I'm meeting this individual.
Recently, okay, I don't know if I'll say it's the number one, but really way up there for sure. It was just recently Matthew Lillard.
Oh, good one from Scream.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I feel like I kind of almost passed out, but I don't even know. Like, am I supposed to say like things that they've said to me, or like that, like?
Sure.
Okay,
Sure.
because I don't know how like they feel or not, but like, yeah, he Okay, first he saw my boyfriend, and he was in the Bride of Chucky cosplay. My boyfriend is a full foot taller than me. He's 6'4", and he had the wedding dress and the wig and makeup, and so of course he's gonna see 6'4" person first. So he's looking up to him, and he's like, "You are absolutely terrifying." And then I like giggled. I'm like trying to get attention, like pretending. I assume he means both of us, and like, and he's like, "Oh, you look incredible." And then he looked back at my boyfriend and he's like, "You are absolutely terrifying." And he, on the way out, he like gave me like a hard arm squeeze.
That's absolutely amazing.
I just started,
I
I
love
was like, I just wanted to tell you, like I said, and I just started yelling out like the names of things that he's been in that are my favorite. I was like, SLC Punk! And then I had, since I was a female Chucky, I had made some acrylic nails that spelled out good girls instead of good guys. And then I remembered he was in, one of my other favorite things he's in is that show Good Girls, about the crime ring of like moms that are trying to feed their kids and whatnot, robbing banks and stuff. So I went, oh, and Good Girls, and show my nails, Good Girls. Then I ran away.
It's pretty cool because like you turn in from being a horror fan and a cosplayer into actual horror modeling. You were recently in a horror calendar.
Yeah, last year, Spooky Babes 2023. I was a Miss October and November, but you don't know that I'm October because I was Sam from Trick or Treat, so I had the mask on. But you could definitely tell it's me in my birthday month, November.
Nice. Now, what was that like?
That was a dream. Well, a nightmare. No. It's such a dreadful day. It's beautiful. Yeah, like I said, I was super bullied, told I was extremely ugly every day, all day by like everyone around me for years and years. So I like aimed super high on the bar and kind of got there to want to model and be seen as like as pretty, just partially just as like revenge to them. Yeah. So and you know, one thing that a lot of models aspire to, is kind of stereotypical, but I don't care, is being on a calendar. So finally made my goal there.
Especially to be in a calendar that's something that you love and passionate about.
Yes,
and that's
exactly.
horror. I mean, that has to be a win-win.
Yes.
Now, one thing you and I have in common, by the way, and what was it? 2 years ago, I lived a life dream, and I was a scare actor at a local haunt in Baltimore, yes. Nevermore Haunt. Give you guys another plug. And I had so much fucking fun.
It's such a good experience. I recommend it to anyone that wants to get out adrenaline and all kinds of emotions. And
oh my god, it's yes, I would blow up my fucking voice every night, but it was so much fucking fun. Mm-hmm. It was just so much fun.
You should have to clear next time.
What was that?
Use your diaphragm next time you yell from like here instead of your throat.
Oh, well, I was trying to, but at the same time, I guess I was in character the whole entire time I was being there. Even when no one was around, I could
Good,
hear
good.
people
That's how to do
around,
it.
and
If
I
you
was
can,
still the whole entire time. And I would see the other actors; they were sitting back, chilling, playing on the phone while they're waiting for us. No, I was in character the whole entire fucking time, so that because I was closer to my set was kind of closer to the front, so I wanted the people who were coming into the door to line up, be like, "What the fuck is that on the other side of the wall? Oh my god!" And I want them to know that there's something fucking crazy going on the other side of that wall, and build that expectation and that fear. So
okay.
that's why I was going balls to the wall the whole entire time.
I love that because that means you weren't just aiming for a quick jump scare for cheap and to get the job done. You want them to know something's coming, and that starts to creep in and get their anxiety up, and then maybe they could even think about it later when they go to sleep at night. Like, that's the kind of one that'll stand out. Like, my favorite was I was playing, this was at Friday Nights at the South Florida Fairgrounds, 2009. The house that I was in that year was called Origins. It was telling the story, like a walkthrough of like how a boy went through his life who ended up becoming a serial killer, and they wanted to show you how and why. So I love that idea. So I played the only kid that would go to his birthday party, and it was showing how he's lonely as a kid and whatnot. On and off, I had a clown. But by the way, the room was strobe lit all night, but I was okay. Even with my sketchy eyes, my eyesight, I did pretty good. But, so I'm slumped over a table, and they put what looked like a knife in my back, looked really convincing. I'm in like a little strawberry shortcake dress and pigtails, and the birthday cake is there with blood on it and stuff. So I'm slumped over, and then I wait until, this kind of was a jump scare in this case, but it was, the effect definitely left some imprint, I think, on their minds. I would wait till like the middle of the like conga line, and then that's when I would jump up, because I couldn't think of much else to do there. But so one person would fall back, and then all the people behind them started falling back like dominoes, and then they would fall through by like cheap little made wall, and they knocked over the wall, and then maintenance was getting mad at me because they kept getting time to fix the wall.
So what was the most memorable, best scare you've ever done on a guest coming into a haunt?
Oh, well, that's the story I just told is way up there, but also there was they, like I was saying, how you can like disguise like functional things into props. Okay, so they made this table, and it looked like a wood table with like a bunch of chains hanging above it with like fake flakes of skin. And so they put like a skeleton from like here to my legs, and then they had like the ankles of the skeleton chained up. So it looks like I'm half skinned. And then I'm laying in a like on like a really comfortable cushion underneath, just laying back. Most of the parts I got for a long time were either sitting or laying down. I got to be like also comfortable on top of it with my freedom of scarring people's psyches. So yeah, they put a ton of latex all over my arms, chest, face, and then I had this idea. Oh, that I just remembered. Yeah. So we had latex. So they had a giant dude in there torturing me. So my idea was I had him hook the chains through my fake skin on my hands and look like he's putting it through my real skin. And he was like, "Oh, I'm afraid to hurt you." And I was like, "I don't care. Do it for the art. Shit." And so that really got people that a lot of people compared it to Hellraiser, that room.
Oh, nice.
So proud, yeah.
Nice. All right. So, Reverie, I'm going to ask you a controversial question. And you mentioned this. We were DMing throughout the day.
Uh-huh.
Now, right now in indie horror, there's a huge influx of sex workers who are becoming actresses. They're doing a sex. They're doing their sex work, and they're being indie horror actresses as well. And
Yeah.
you are a sex worker who is transitioning into acting.
Yes, I
Do
think
you?
it's more like vice versa, but either
Yeah,
way.
vice versa. Yeah, but now, do you think that's an interesting trend that's happening right now?
For sure, but now I'm thinking like I think horror slash murder and sex often really go hand in hand. You can't even find a documentary anymore these days that don't end up mentioning some form of sex when you're just usually you're just there for the murder. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think once you pointed it out, yeah, it started to make more sense to me. It's primal, probably subconscious urges from caveman days of
Because as
I
someone
what's
yeah,
up?
because, because as someone who it interviews indie filmmakers, horror filmmakers, I'm saying on a regular basis,
Yeah.
every time they're saying, "Oh," I'm like, "Oh, who's in your movie?" It's the same three actresses, and they started off in porn, and they're still active in the pornography industry and OnlyFans and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, I find it interesting that indie horror creators, because I mean, back in the day, if they had a porn star in a movie, or I mean, it was just something for it was an actress that was
Yeah,
for some cheap
taboo.
titties. Yeah, she show
Oh
some
yeah.
titties and get killed real quick.
Mhm.
But like indie horror creators are actually taking sex workers and porn stars, OnlyFans, and they're actually putting them into leading roles into movies, and I find that fascinating.
It is, yeah, and we're getting taken more seriously. Yeah, I mean, especially after the pandemic, and a lot of people obviously turned to OnlyFans and things like that. They started realizing, I guess, that sex workers are people. So, and then they have a lot more to draw into, and you know that they can scream already.
Now I wonder also too, because I listen. I've always wondered. I always want to ask like. I also feel like those those workers also have a fan base, and I feel like they bring their fan base to their. I feel like if you're an indie filmmaker, and let's say Jessa Flux comes to you and says, "Hey, I have this built-in fan base from porn and OnlyFans," it makes her more marketable.
For sure. Yeah, that's convenient. That's smart. Good marketing.
Yeah, so I mean, it's more eyes onto your film.
Exactly.
Now you do have an acting role that's coming up soon. That's not horror.
Right.
Tell us a little bit, or as much as you can, about that role.
Sure. It's actually a film that I wrote. It explores depression and like helping someone see that they. Sorry, my roommate's alarm is going off. They can okay, you don't. I just want to say fuck that myth that you have to love yourself before anyone else can love you. That's the stupidest shit I've heard. But so it's also addressing that like someone else can help love you in the meantime, and they can help you learn about yourself, and they can also give you the space to do your own mental work to come to love yourself and also be loved. What a concept, right? So yeah, it's about a boyfriend and girlfriend coming to that conclusion. It's going to be very short. I actually, when I originally wrote it in like 2017, I thought it was going to be a feature, and then I looked at it and was like, you know what, this is perfect just as it is. I think it succinctly makes the point here, and I'm really excited.
And actually points on some real life topics with you.
Yeah.
You deal with depression as well as
Exactly.
anxiety and as well, and you've also contemplated suicide.
Oh, it used to be pretty much every day. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what was it like to be acting in a movie that something when it kind of hits at home for you?
I've actually not filmed it yet. But I know that it's probably gonna hit at least moderately hard. I think maybe part of me can like block it out while at the same time summoning what the emotion that I need to portray to actually. More so. The other role in the film is more about the depressed person, but my role is to definitely be sympathetic to that, and I've been on both sides of that with plenty of people all my life. You know, a lot of people with depression and whatnot tend to like magnetize a lot of people who understand, so we can just all talk about it.
I agree.
Reverie? That's the real horror is mental illness. One time I had a therapy appointment on Halloween, and I was like, "That's the real. This is the horror."
It's real life horror. It really is. It is. Yeah, it's real life horror. It's scary. So many people in this country world are in a fight with mental illness, and some are maintaining, and some unfortunately losing their fight. And yeah, I'm glad, Reverie, that you're on my show tonight. Between you and I, that's a personal message.
Yeah,
I was saying I'm glad that you're on my show tonight.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm glad to be on it too.
Yes. All right, listen, as you know, I'm about to do something that I like to do every once in a while, and I'm going to ask you 3 random horror questions. This is personal opinion. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, first one. F, marry, kill. As fuck, marry, kill. You got Jason, Freddy, and Michael Myers. Who are you going to marry, who are you going to fuck, and who are you going to kill?
I'm going to marry Michael. I am going to fuck Freddy. And then I'll kill Jason because he's just the last on the list. No offense.
But why marry Michael? I'm just curious.
Because he's nice and quiet. If you need it, be quiet.
Yeah. Okay. That's true.
Because hype with for Halloween like me. Maybe he'll help me. The decor.
Yeah, that's true, because Freddy is going to be cracking jokes the whole entire time.
Yeah,
that's fun every once in a while, but I feel like for the long haul that would get annoying.
Taking enough things seriously in the relationship.
Yeah. All right. Second question.
Where he's going at night in people's dreams.
Yeah. All right. Second question. Mm-hmm. What horror movie villain do you feel like you relate to the most?
Oh, probably Jigsaw.
Why Jigsaw?
Like I said, since I was bullied so badly, I like the idea of like really bad people, and they're not always terrible in Saw, but often just in some way getting what they deserve, just justice. But I like Batman too, but more so the horror side of getting justice.
By the way, I don't think as adults, most adults who bullied people in high school realize that those people still hate your guts today. Yeah. I don't think, because I mean, even like me flashing back in high school, like people who treated me like shit.
Yeah,
and it is weird when they DM me on. Where I run into them like, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, hey, fuck you. Like, in my mind, I'm like, really? Yeah. Like, why would the fuck you think that I would want to be friends with you or associate with you? Like, are you having like amnesia? Oh, it's fucking weird. No, people still fucking, the fucked up things you did in high school, people still hate you for it.
Yeah, it was part of your core development. And
yeah, they hate your guts. They hate your guts more than anybody who fucked them over a year ago.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, seriously, that's a good point.
Yes, I don't know why people go, get over it. No, everybody hates motherfuckers in high school who treat them like shit.
I need therapy. You pay for it, asshole.
Exactly. Final question. Final question. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. If you were a killer, see, I think I know the answer to this. I feel like you don't kill the people from high school. I was going to say, if you were a killer, who would your victims be? It's going to be everybody from high school, right?
Like types?
Yeah. Like, would you have a type that you're going to, who would be your target audience or target victim?
I probably would say shitty men, like abusers. I've struggled with that long in the past too.
So, like domestic violence or rapists
Like,
and pedophiles and all of them?
even if just verbal and domestic and sexual, any kind of abuse you could think of.
And what would be your method of killing them?
Ooh, I really like old school torture device type stuff. I like to think about this stuff a lot. I like to think about now I'm on a list.
That's disturbing.
Like slicing really sensitive spots, like the eyes, behind the knees, the Achilles tendons, and then like adding extra stuff in, like lemon juice or salt or stuff like that. That's really exciting.
You actually think about that?
Oh yeah, a lot.
Wow. Okay. I don't want to piss you off. Okay.
I'm spoiling my own like future scripts. But
see, I think about how I always think about how I'm gonna dispose of a body all the time. I always think that's what I think about.
That's
not
hard.
necessarily killing somebody, but how to dispose of a body.
Yeah.
And,
You should feed them to something like pigs or alligators, something like that.
Nah, that's not. I've got better ways. I have better ways. FBI, I have not killed nobody. Okay, listen. I definitely got better ways.
Okay.
All right, Reverie, where can everyone find you?
I am going to provide you with that information to put below once everything is ready, because I am going to make a bunch of whole new social media. It's no pun intended going to be pretty much a ghost town at first, but I'm trying to get my shit straight, so you will have that by the time this is up.
Awesome. So listen, down in the link will be her link to her social media and OnlyFans as well. Definitely check out the OnlyFans. There's some good stuff on there. I'm coming from a pervert. But listen,
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, everybody. Thank you for coming. Reverie, thank you for coming on. It's been a blast. And once again, thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me.
All right, everyone. Well, thank you for coming to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and that's Reverie Addams. We'll see you next time. Take care.